So let's go ahead now and make a presentation sheet. And some questions come up during labs about how to, retrieve kind of the presentation sheet. Some students have actually had to reconstruct it. And you really never have to do that. If you have a completed project at hand, you can just reopen it and extract the titles presentation sheet out of it. So let me just show you how to do that quickly. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to just open up an existing file. And in this case, I'm going to open up, on the desktop, I have CV2 that I've been working with. And I'll go ahead and open that because I know it has the presentation sheet on it. I'll give that a second to open, or more than a second. And then I can go up and click on the presentation sheet itself and double click on it, and it will open it up as a family file. And I really don't need the original file any longer now that I have that. And so I can now take that and load it into the project that I want to add the presentation sheet into. And when I do here, it's going to go overwrite the existing version because I've already got that presentation sheet in. But if you didn't have a presentation sheet in, it would overwrite. It wouldn't ask this question. So I'm actually not sure what happened there. I think I canceled it out. Anyway, it loaded in that time. That was fine. So you can actually close off this presentation sheet. You no longer need it, but you actually could save it somewhere where you could find it more conveniently in the future. So let's go ahead now and go to Sheets. I'm going to right click on that and make a new sheet. And then there's my presentation sheet in the title block offering. So I can select that. And I'm ready to start dragging some views on. But before we do that, let's go to our 3D view. I made a little bit of a correction to this. I want to save rendering settings with this. So I'm going to go ahead and go to graphic display options. I don't like the dark ceiling, but I kind of leave that for this project, just to save us time on things. I wanted to go to lighting. I had the shadows tweaked up when I left it. I thought that made them look way too harsh. So you may want to tweak the shadows way down. I think that looks a little better. I don't know if there's any difference that happens with the adjustment of the ambient light. Yeah, I would take the ambient light all the way up also. And let's see what happens if we take the sun down. I guess that gets a little less contrasty on the eyes. That might be a little more pleasant. I'll bring this up a little bit. So now that I've made these kind of adjustments to it, I'm going to save this as a template. And I'm going to cancel this one more time because I want to show you what the time of day is set for. It's coming up default as Boston, Massachusetts, which is fine. It's set for February 11th. That's fine. And the time of day, we probably want it to be right around noon. So I'll just say noon. I'll click apply. That just makes a little modification of the sun. Now I'm going to save that as a template. And I'm thinking it's going to save render for that same time of day. So I'm going to say render February 12 p.m. and go ahead and click OK with that, and OK with all of those settings. And then I go ahead and put that away. And now I can apply, and I already have created this before, but rendering, I can apply that to this scene. Okay, and now I want to rename the scene accordingly. And the idea here is we're gonna actually make another time of year or rendering, so we want to be able to distinguish them. So I'm going to call this interior, February, 12 p.m. And we'll go to our sheet now and we'll drag that on. It's a little bit small, so let's learn how to, re-experience how to change the size of these. So I'm going to grab the actual view itself, go to the size crop. It says that it's 4 inches high. We don't want to change the field of view, but we want to scale it up. So let's just say we're going to scale it up maybe to 7 inches. And I'll click apply. It automatically changes in both dimensions. That looks pretty good. So I'm just going to delete that and drag it back on again. It looks like we might have the crop box on. So I'm going to turn that off. This makes it look a little better on the page. I'm a little bothered by this crop box over here showing a little bit of darkness, so I'm going to just pull this in a little bit. Now I'm fussing around because I really expect you to kind of care about this. It doesn't seem to matter. It always makes a little bit of a dark edge. So that's just fine for now. But I want you to be able to be fussy about your own drawings also. So I'm going to click deactivate the view, and that's set for us. Now I want to be able to show on the exterior what's happening with that. So we have that 3D view also. So I'm going to just open that back up again. And what I'm going to try to do is give it the same view template. I'm going to give it render February 12 p.m. And then we have the same view. And then we're going to actually rename that the same name. So I'll go exterior. And we'll drag that onto the sheet. And it's huge, taking up all kinds of space with it. So let's go back and try to manipulate it a little bit. So I'll go to the view itself. I'll turn on the crop it a little bit first. So I'm going to zoom out and grab the crop and pull that in nice and tight. Actually, before I finish that, let's get rid of the level views. We don't really need those. So I'm going to go hide in view by category. And then I'll finish dragging these in. Okay, now we'll go back here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this and drag it back on again. It's a bit large, so the way I'm going to do that is to scale it by changing its scale. So I'm going to select it, and we'll take this maybe to, let's say, 1/16 inch to a foot. That looks pretty good. I'm going to delete that and drag it back on again. And our title bar is really large, but actually I've kind of troubleshooted this and found out kind of a hack as to how we can fix that. So I'm going to go back to the actual view itself, and I'm going to select the sun path and turn it off. I can't turn it off, and the reason I can't is because I have a fixed template for that. So I'm going to change this template to none temporarily. Click OK. Now I can go ahead and edit the settings. So I'm going to turn the sun path off. All right, now we're going to go back to the sheet, and I'm going to delete this sheet and drag it back on again. And then I'm going to double click into it and turn the sun path back on again. Conversely, I could probably just change the, go back to the template and change it to the original rendering setting. And then we'll go ahead and deactivate the view. All right, so now we have the start of our two views. I'm seeing the crop box around this, so let's just turn that off so it's not visible. All right, so the last thing I want to do in the next clip is to pick another time of day and duplicate these views.